Hopefully you're having an incredible day today. My name is Alex Latt with Sparky3. It's a sad day, honestly. It's honestly a little bit of a sad day. You know, I got Shane here with me. Shane, how you doing?
Pretty good. Tired as shit, but you know.
Yeah, no Tyler this week, which is also sad because again, this is just a sad day, man. This is the last terrible football episode for a little while.
Till what, June?
Yeah, sometime in June. Yeah, I think that deserves a moment of silence. Moments pass. But yeah, last episode until sometime mid-June we'll come out. We'll put out an episode, just kind of recap what's going on. Because I'm sure we're going to have a lot of free agency signings, potentially injuries, to talk about how our teams are looking in terms of their roster heading into training camp. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So we'll have an episode in June, another episode in July, and then we're back full force. I think August 2nd, I think is the date, and we're on there all the way up to the Super Bowl. If you could, like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sparky3. Thank you guys so much for everyone that came out and checked out the live stream, the guys that jumped into the call with us and chat with us. We really appreciate that. And honestly, I feel like it's a decent possibility we may just go live for this fall. How are you feeling about that?
I really enjoyed it.
I think it's electric. I think it's better for the show.
Yeah, I mean, especially like if we can get callers each week from the live stream, even if it's people we don't know, people who watch the stream or watch the show,
right?
Gives the capability of being able to have that live interaction, much like a Pat McAfee show, or any kind of show on ESPN, anything like that. So that definitely excites me, but I think there is going to be times to where we're going to be able to, okay, guys, it's going to have to be kind of pre-recorded here because, schedules and stuff like that. But
schedules are always going to be an issue.
I think it should be live. I really like it. I come from a streaming background, so I've always enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, that's your field. That's your field.
Most definitely.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's a good possibility. It was a blast, and I look forward to doing more of it here in the future. Also, make sure to check us out at our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free, or you sign up for $5 a month, get early access to podcast episodes. We also got the merch store, sparky3shop.com. And hey, we also just launched a new show this week as well, Spark Bark.
I saw that.
Yeah, one-stop shop for BS and nonsense. That is the slogan. Shout out to Zach for just firing that on the spot in the middle of the episode, because now it's just the slogan.
It's done.
Dude, as soon as he said it, I didn't even acknowledge, that's it. I just kept doing my thing, whatever. But the whole time throughout the show, I'm like, that's it. I'm holding on to that one. That was perfect. Perfect way to describe the show. So definitely go show that one some support. We'd appreciate that. Give us your thoughts on it. Join the public Discord, because then you can get an opportunity to maybe come into some shows in the future. We definitely want to kind of expand on that. So join the Discord for sure. Follow us over at Twitter, Terrible FB Show. That's one of the fastest ways to stay up to date with the show, as well as going sign up to the website, especially with this break that we're about to be going on. But hey, while we're on this break, in the meantime, we still got other shows, Game Static, Anime Plus, Spark Bar, talking about movies and stuff. So we still got other stuff going on while football shows on the break.
You going watching, I know it's not football, you're watching Doctor Strange on Friday?
Watching it Thursday. Yeah, me and my ladies going. I'm very, very excited.
Beat me to it. I'm waiting for Josh coming down on Friday. We're going to watch it then.
Yeah, I will say I have seen some spoilers. I have seen some leaks. My Twitter feed had it full force for me, and I'm just like, okay, I guess we're just diving into this now. I've seen it. Let's just jump in. Let's see what the hell is going on. So I've seen some stuff, and it's going to be a wild ride is all I'll really say. Speaking of wild ride, we also have the finale of Moon Knight this week, too. Talk about a double whammy. Moon Knight and then Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Double whammy, man. Lots of good stuff to chat about there. All right, so for today's episode, draft recap, basically. We're going to be going through all the teams, kind of giving our thoughts on it. Obviously, with the live stream, it was just the first round. Now we're going to be looking at the full board. We're also going to take a look at, free agents that are still on the board that we probably should project to get picked up at some point. There are a lot of these free agents, more veteran players, where it's just like, let's wait till after the draft to see what we can get in the draft before we actually want to make the pool to sign any of these veterans to a contract. So Shane, if you're feeling it, let's just jump into it, dude. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Kicking things off with the Arizona Cardinals. We're just going to go alphabetical here because we're also going off NFL.com. Shout out to that. So they, of course, did not have their first round pick because their first round pick was essentially Hollywood Brown. So that's kind of how it's graded there, which, I mean, I like that trade. And, well, now that we've seen what happened with D-Hop, That trade might make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
D-Hop suspended the first 6 games from a PED thing that popped up in his November test. So that kind of puts his trade in a little bit more perspective, in my opinion. But one of my favorite picks they got, honestly, was actually their very first pick they had at 55th overall, the Colorado State tight end Trey McBride. That's actually one of my favorite picks that they've got. Put him behind Zach Ertz. Trey McBride honestly could have potentially slipped into the late first round. So I think them grabbing him there, I think is pretty solid. I also like a couple of the linemen they got as well, the Virginia Tech lineman and the Oklahoma lineman. I like both of those as well. But Trey McBride is their first pick is the one that stands out to me the most personally.
I think with the Arizona Cardinals, they didn't get a straight-on flashy player from the draft.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm seeing great value from each pick.
Right.
And that's really all you can ask for. So.
Yeah. No, solid draft from the Cardinals. Going down to the next one, we got the Atlanta Falcons. NFL.com actually has them at a B+, and I don't know. I might actually disagree with that B+, honestly.
I'll probably put them about A-.
Yeah, I feel like an A- is probably more accurate. Of course, their first pick, Drake London. I love that pick. He was my number 1 receiver in this draft. I love Drake London, so I'm very excited for this pick for Atlanta. I also like the Desmond Ridder pick later in the draft. Like, what was that, 3rd round, I think?
Yeah, late 3rd.
Yeah, late 3rd. I actually really like that pick. Put him behind Marcus Mariota. Desmond Ridder kind of fits the scheme that Arthur Smith's kind of going for. I love that pick, honestly. And then also Troy Anderson, former quarterback for Montana State. I mean, this guy is being called one of the best athletes in the entire draft.
I mean, yeah, he played running back in high school, and then he moved to quarterback, and then he just put on some massive weight and by weight, I mean muscle, and played linebacker, and apparently was phenomenal.
Right. I mean, they have a lot of good value here. Got a couple of Georgia kids down there in the bottom.
Also, really like. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
I really like the BYU running back.
Tyler.
Yeah, at 151, great pickup.
Yeah, good pickup there. I like the Penn State edge rusher Arnold, whatever his last name is, Ibikai Arnold. We'll just call him Arnold.
I had this name down during the draft, but just due to Tyler, I'm not even going to try it.
Okay. Fair. No, I think the Falcons actually had a really good draft. I think a B+ is a little insulting from NFL.com in my opinion.
I would say A-.
Going on to the next one. Okay, now this is the draft right here that a lot of people are calling the best draft from this year, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. NFL.com only has them as an A, but for the most part, I've seen them at like a solid A+ across the entire board, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because, like, number one,
look at their top 3 picks.
I know.
Their top 3 picks really could have all gone in the top 15.
Honestly, top 4 picks, because there was a lot of people thinking Travis Jones was going to be a late first. And he slipped all the way down to the 3rd round.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, you got Kyle Hamilton at 14th. They got Tyler Linderbaum, who's probably one of the better linemen in this entire draft if you include the entire line. Not just, separate tackles and inner and interior. In my opinion, he's easily like in the top 3 best of this entire draft. Then they have David Ajobu, who tore his Achilles, of course, which as someone who has torn their Achilles completely in half, that sucks, but we've seen how it is in today's game where it's like Cam Akers came back, within the season. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is like a torn Achilles. While it sucks, dude's going to bounce back. That dude was projected to go 1st round, easy, like in the 10s range.
Oh, yeah.
But because of that, he slipped. And then Travis Jones, he slipped as well. D-tackle from UConn. He was going to be projected late first as a common one. And then it's just like the rest of the way. They just got like a lot of value.
Yeah, you got Tyler Linderbaum in there, who people were saying that is the best center prospect, let alone the best offensive line prospect they've seen in 20 years.
Right.
And then you got Kyle Hamilton, who was supposed to be a top 3, top 5 pick until he ran his 4.7 at the 40. At the pro day. So, I mean, you got 3. I don't really know much about Travis Jones, but 3, and by what you say, 4 quality, possibly 1st round picks. In the first 3 rounds.
That's impressive.
It's definitely a very stellar draft.
You got a good backup tight end there behind Mark Andrews. You got some.
They drafted 2 tight ends.
Oh, they did. Yeah, I didn't see the other one. Yeah. So 2 tight ends to go behind Mark Andrews. Good there. Get some cornerback help, which is also good, especially after they had a lot of injuries last year. That defensive backfield got fucked.
And they got Tyler Badie with their last pick.
Yeah.
Who led the SEC 2 years in a row in rushing.
Right.
Like, that's insane.
Let's hop down to the next team, the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, their first pick, Elam from Florida, is an awesome pick. This dude, now that he's been picked, there's all these videos coming out where, like, in his pre-draft process, he's like, oh, here, check out my notes. He's like, I'm the best note taker in this draft. So, like, the dude's smart. The dude knows the game really well. And he's just like, yeah, I wrote down my mistakes, wrote down team mistakes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The dude's going to be an excellent corner for this team because it's like Tyler mentioned on the stream, 14 seconds or 13 seconds, whatever. He's like, that just burned into his brain. I also like James Cook, because they, obviously we've talked about it all year long. They need running back help. So I like that pick a lot. And then, of course, they got the punt god. I was waiting to see where Matt Ariza was going to go. This dude is considered one of the best punting prospects in NFL history. Dude's got a leg. I like the Bills draft, honestly, mostly because the first two picks alone.
I do too. I think it's a little worse than an A. I would put him at A- B+, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the back end kind of hurt them. And honestly, in my rankings, I had Kyer Elam, beginning of second round, to 10 or so in the second round. So to get him at like what 23.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but we know that, those corners and safeties came off the board quick.
Oh, my God.
All of them did.
Yeah, just like receivers. They went fast.
So, I still like the pick. I still think he'll do great for them, and I really like the James Cook pick, especially at 63. And unfortunately, they weren't able to get Brees or Kenneth, but I definitely had James Cook at probably number 3 or 4 on my running back list. So
they were gunning for Brees.
Oh, yeah.
And their in-division rival got it.
But didn't they trade up to get him, too?
The Jets
traded up to get Brees. So.
Yeah, we're going to chat about that in a minute, that's for sure. Next up, Carolina Panthers. I like this draft, dude. We only had 6 picks for them, but and the reason why is because when it came to that second pick they made, they, of course, drafted Matt Corral. They traded up for him, to make that happen. But I like the first pick, obviously, with Ike Ekwonu, because, like, one of the big things about it, and, you kept harping on this during the stream, is like you just didn't think they were going to go quarterback because it'd be too much of a reach, right? And it's just like I could have seen them go on quarterback, or I could have seen them just go on tackle, but they went with the safer pick of tackle, one of the best, really the best tackle in this draft, instead of doing a hard reach for a quarterback at 6, and still got, honestly, a pretty solid quarterback with Matt Corral in one of the later rounds, in my opinion. Then you got some linebacker help, edge help, some corner help, lineman help. I mean, for a small draft, I like what the Panthers did.
The only thing that surprised me is I think Ritter was already gone by this point.
Yeah.
Right? But they took Corral over Sam Howell.
Yep.
Who I liked better. And Malik.
Yeah, Malik was still on the board at this point.
So that kind of blew my mind.
Man, the quarterback slide was unreal.
Oh, for real. Which we were saying it all year. So was everybody in the world. But then, like, towards the end of the draft, everybody was kind of like pulling a fast one. Like, oh, pull over here. Like, we're looking at quarterbacks now. Yep. And then they're like, nah, nah.
Yeah. So, I like what the Panthers did, honestly. I feel like you should as well. Next up, my team, the Chicago Bears. I'm not going to dive into full detail because I put out probably, in my time of doing football podcasting, I put out probably the best and most detailed series of tweets I've ever put out.
Yeah, I was reading those. I was like, is this ever going to end? But, hey, it was interesting stuff, and I read all, like, 8 of them.
Thank you. Yeah, go follow me at Twitter, at AlexLide23. I put out, like an 8 to 10 tweet thread of my full thoughts on the Bears, and that's one of my proudest tweets out there. So just go follow that for my full thoughts. But I'll sum it up like this: we came into this draft with, I think, 6 picks, and we turned around and got 11. That alone is impressive to me. And then also some of the picks that we got. Kyler Gordon was being projected for some late first, so he slid, got him. Brisker, awesome safety there. Really like that pickup. And then we just got depth. That's the big thing, is we got depth throughout the entire draft, and that's awesome. I love the center pick, Doug Kramer. I love that pick. I actually really like the Jones pick, Velus Jones. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right. I actually really like that pick personally, but
he was stellar at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Stellar. Lightning. Like me and Josh was kind of watching that second and third rounds while we were just chilling on Discord. And dude, like, he caught the ball, and I was like, oh, dude's slow. He's going to get caught. And all of a sudden, you just see him hit another gear and kind of take off. And I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah, he's being compared to he's being called Debo Light. Is how he's being called.
Debo Light.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I actually love for what we had in front of us. I love our draft for Ryan Pohl's first draft, at least in my mind. The Bengals. All right. Let's chat about the Bengals. It's all right. I mean, all right. Look, they addressed an important need with the first 2 picks, which is secondary, right? Mm-hmm. And I fully, honestly support that first round pick, because in a lot of my mock drafts, I had it played out where if all the linemen kind of went, why reach for someone else? You know what I mean? Just go ahead and get best player on the board in that first round. You know what I mean?
Or trade back.
Yeah, one of the two. Like, don't reach for a lineman who's projected like third round, like the Patriots did. Don't do that. So I don't mind the approach on that pick, but then it's like you get to the second round, you go another cornerback. Yes, you need that secondary help. Eli Apple stinks. You did re-sign Eli Apple. Best of luck to you. But, I mean, out of this draft, you walk away with one lineman. One lineman's what you walked away with. I mean, I understand you got Collins in the offseason. Cool. You got drafted Jonah Williams first round, I think last year, the year before. Cool. But, I mean, you got your tackle spots kind of done, but you still need to fix that damn interior line, because Aaron Donald destroyed you. So, like, walking away with one lineman, I'm just not a fan personally.
Yeah, I'm not either. But the way I see it is, they just thought the cornerback need and the defensive line, because, I mean, they got a D tackle from Florida and an edge from Coastal Carolina. So they thought, with those acquisitions of Landon Collins and the recent draft pick of the year before, maybe they just think, hey, maybe we can just get this guy and maybe pick up, somebody else later on, maybe hit a trade or something. I just feel like they just did the bare minimum to make fans happy. Right. They just filled holes. I like the 2 cornerbacks in the first and second rounds. I like those 2 picks, but other than that, I think they just kind of filled in holes, really. So,
yeah, and that's all they really did. I just wish they would have gone another lineman spot, personally. Let's head over to the Browns. Of course, they didn't have a pick until, 68th pick. That would be 68. What? That's the third round? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, of course, the Deshaun Watson trade, whatever. They really made the best of what they could, man. That was the bottom line. The only pick that really jumps out at me immediately is going to be David Bell, the wide receiver from Purdue. I actually really like him. That was a guy that I was hoping we would get as well. But, I mean, what they're doing here, man, is they're just filling depth. With David Bell, that's a guy that is going to see some playing time, as well as Alex Wright, UAB defensive end, and then Martin Emerson, the cornerback from Mississippi State. They'll get some time in. But the rest of it is just really depth. Well, besides Cade York, naturally kicker, he's actually, been flat out been said he's not going to get competition. So I guess they really believe he's going to be a dope ass kicker. But I mean, that's all this draft is. It's depth. So you can't hate it, but it's nothing to praise.
Yeah. I mean, I think they got quality pickup with Mike Woods. I really didn't watch him much at Oklahoma, but I mean, at Arkansas, I was a massive fan of Michael Woods. I thought he was going to blow up at Arkansas, especially how he played at the spring game, and then let alone 2 days later he transfers to Oklahoma.
Right.
So I thought he was going to put up bigger numbers this year. I think going to Oklahoma actually hurt him.
You think that if he would have got to stay at Arkansas, he would have just had more real starting time, I guess, is the way to put it.
He would have been
focus.
He would have been the number 2, right?
Yeah.
And everybody would have been doubling Treylon.
Yeah.
At that point.
That's fair.
The plays that Warren Thompson was able to make this year, Mike Woods would have been able to do that and so much better.
Right.
Because I think Mike Woods was so far ahead of what Warren Thompson is. Yes, he's only a freshman, but I think Mike Woods would have. I think he hurt himself going to Oklahoma. Don't get me wrong; he had a good year. He got drafted in the 5th, 6th round, whatever it might be. But shout out to him for that. But I think he hurt himself.
Right. Well, maybe now pairing up with David Bell and then, of course, Amari Cooper can really give him some time because, keep in mind they let Jarvis walk. Mm-hmm. So, these guys are going to get some time for sure. Next up, the Cowboys. This has been kind of little bit of a controversial one just because of that first pick still. Just because Tyler Smith, tackle from Tulsa in the first round, is such just a raw talent, And it's a long game mindset. It's not a win now mindset because, like, you're aiming for him to replace Tyron Smith. But, like, I got to say, like, nothing about the Cowboys draft jumps out at me.
Not at all.
Like, the only thing that I got to say is, like, okay, dope. Like, you got some depth at a few positions. Like, that's cool. You got another linebacker got a couple linebackers in the linebacker room. That's cool. You got some defensive linemen. Cool, including one of your guys from Arkansas, John Ridgeway, down in
the Vanilla Gorilla.
Down in looks like probably the 5th round, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was late 5th, early 6th.
Okay. But, like, literally nothing about this draft jumps off the board to me. Well, I mean, I kind of like Jalen. I like Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama, but not enough for me to praise this draft, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, their best pick was Tyler Smith, and I'm pretty sure other offensive lineman was on the board when they picked him, like Zion and people like that.
Yeah.
So do I agree with it? Yeah, but I think if Jerry Jones, I guess he just knows his stuff, so we'll see.
Jerry's going to be Jerry, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
One of your teams, the Broncos. How are you feeling about their draft?
I think we got great quality.
Okay.
And taking Nick Benito at the 64th pick. I loved that pick. Now, yes, Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd were still there.
No, Devin Lloyd was gone.
He was gone?
Yeah, he went first round to Jacksonville. Now, Nakobe slipped to the third.
Nakobe was there. I thought he would probably get picked over Benito. Like, when the pick came up, I was like, this has got to be Nakobe Dean. This has got to be. And then they got Nick Benito, which I really like. He's big enough to you can play him in a 3-4 on the edge, which typically is what Denver runs anyways. Mm-hmm. Or, if you're playing a 4-3 or a Tampa, you can play him at the outside rush or not the Mike, but the left outside linebacker. Pretty much just bring him off the edge. But yet he's still lean enough to kind of drop back in coverage.
Right.
I think the only thing that really hurt him in falling to the second round was he's not as agile as some of the linebackers ahead of him was. But I love the pick. The dude was an absolute tackle machine at Oklahoma. Like the center pick, Luke Wattenberg. Mm-hmm. I can even see that right. Wattenberg at 171. Wattenberg. I think that was good quality. Montreal Washington, I haven't really seen a lot from him. I just saw what highlights that, the NFL draft popped up. Mm-hmm. But I like that pick. The UCLA tight end, Greg Dulcich, I think he'll be, pretty much is just a Noah Fant replacement. Hopefully something gets out of that. I think, if it was like, kind of like rating like what NFL.com hit, they have him as an A. I would probably put that maybe a B+, A-. Honestly, so A- probably for my Denver Broncos. So it is what it is. We'll see.
With a name like that guy with Iowa State has, he's going to be a superstar.
Oh, 100%.
I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
I'm not even going to pronounce that. All right. I'm not even going to try.
Ioma. Uwazurki. Oh, fucking yeah. This guy does not deserve this.
Yeah, he butchered that. But okay.
Moving on. The Lions. All right, so naturally, right off the bat, Aiden, amazing pick. Did you see the articles where like the NFL got pissed off at the Lions because of how fast they put that pick in?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because the NFL is looking at it's like, hey, we're trying to run a TV show here. Let the analysts have a chance to talk about Trayvon, whatever. And like literally as soon as it's the Trayvon line's like, all right, put the card in.
We all knew it, right?
Yeah.
On the stream, Trayvon was like, okay. I was like, before Roger Goodell even got to the podium, I'm sure they already handed in the
Yeah. Like at that, like the moment he's walking up to the podium for Trayvon Walker, me and you are just like, all right, so what's the third pick? We're not even worried about it. Aiden is a phenomenal pick, obviously, for the Lions, dude. That's a defensive leader for the Lions for the next 10 years. I like the Jameson Williams pick, man. That they were pretty aggressive to jump up and grab him because a lot of people had him going to the Jets. I thought he was going to the Jets. I was hearing a lot of chatter at number 10. But of course they got Garrett Wilson's a good pick there, but being pretty aggressive to grab up and grab Jameson, which they I mean, they needed a receiver last year. They had almost nothing. They had a rookie, St. Brown, I think was his name, who played pretty well. But I mean, they obviously the year before let Kenny Golladay walk. They let, I think, Marvin Jones walk the same offseason. Yeah, because Marvin Jones' first year in Jacksonville was this past year. So I mean, the Lions let their two top guys walk 2 years ago, and last year didn't do anything to really replace it. So Jameson Williams is a good pick. I like Josh Pascal as well, the defensive tackle from Kentucky. I like that pick. I think the Lions, man, I think they did a really good draft. Like, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to they're going to finally get themselves out of the top 10 next year for picks, but I think they're going to do pretty well.
I can say this, though. They got better.
They got better.
And that's all that matters.
That's all that matters for the Lions.
They got better.
Yeah. I like it, though.
Especially since I had Jameson, even after the injury, I had him number one receiver on my board.
Right.
So
dude's electric. All right, next up, the Green Bay Packers. All right, so
the debacle of the draft, in my opinion.
Really?
I mean, only quality pick I really like was a Christian Watson, and you still had to trade up to get him.
Yeah, they did. They did have to trade up. I will say I do like one thing about this draft quite a bit, and that is how they handled the first round. Because now, granted, do I think they should have traded up and tried to be more aggressive? Yeah, I think they should have. Because, I mean, one of my pitches that I was saying for the draft is watch that 17 spot with the Chargers. They were a team that I could have seen potentially be a trade back partner for someone in the 20s. Well, if you go back and watch Pat McAfee's Draft Spectacular, he got to talk to Tom Telesco, the GM of the Chargers, and he flat out said, no, we didn't get any calls. So I feel like that could have been a spot that maybe the Packers could have jumped up. Because if they would have jumped up there, Packers could have got Treylon, because Treylon went to 18.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, could the Packers have been more aggressive to get higher, to get these receivers that went, like, quick? Yes, but since they didn't, I feel like they didn't reach is the main thing. They got positions they needed with a linebacker and a defensive lineman.
Yeah, it was much like Arizona. They got great quality for where they were at, but I think they could have gone better by trading up and being more aggressive on spots they needed. I mean, they had 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, they had more than 6 picks. They had 8 or 9, if not 10 picks.
I think about 10, 10 or 11.
So I mean, you could have probably sacrificed some picks to trade up to get your guys. But I mean, I didn't watch the pack. I haven't gone back and watched it yet.
It's great,
but I did hear that Aaron Rodgers specifically said that he wanted Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that was on Pat McAfee show or some report, but
was not. No,
but
no. What A-Rod was saying in the show is that he said all throughout the draft he was in the loop. Like, he was getting text messages from the guys, from Matt and Gunter Kuntz, however you pronounce his name. He was getting text messages, and A-Rod flat out said, yeah, I mean, all the receivers that they had as first round grades was off the board. But A-Rod said that Wyatt was one that he knew that they really wanted, but they were going to try to wait for him, and obviously ended up getting him. The Christian Watson pick I do like quite a bit, honestly, but I will also say another guy to watch for Packers fans is watch for this Romeo guy from Nevada, the wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I think Romeo is going to be legit like a threat for the Packers, because I feel like he fits the offensive scheme for the Packers better than Christian does.
And I guess when you do look at it, I mean, I forgot about Romeo and I forgot about the Nebraska receiver. They got 3 receivers.
Yep.
In the draft. In the second? 2 in the second. No, second and then 4th, and then in the 7th.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world because they didn't, the main thing is they didn't reach. I think there's some solid value here. I think there's some solid value here, in my opinion. Next up is the Houston Texans. NFL.com actually has them as a B grade, which is kind of interesting because I like their first 2 picks, and both in the first round.
I like their first 5 picks.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. John Mechie's a good pick. I like John Mechie. I like Christian Harris. I like Jalen as well, safety from Baylor.
And even the running back out of Florida, Damian Pierce. I mean, he's a quality guy too. He's a guy that you can bring in on 3rd down,
right?
Or if he bulks up some, which I don't know exact weight or anything, but I'm pretty sure he's a smaller guy, like height wise. Bulk him up some more. He can be a 3 down back.
True. I don't actually agree with the B rating.
But then again, you do have Aaron Jones, so why would you need that? So,
No, I actually don't agree with the B grade. I actually think this would be more like a B plus, honestly.
Yeah, B plus, maybe an A minus, depending on like what you grade really at Jalen and John and really Christian. I think that middle part there kind of maybe hurts them a little bit. But I mean, I liked all three of those players.
Yeah, and I actually really like the Kenyon Green. I actually really like that pick there because I know at that point in the draft, I mean, you still had Zion Johnson on the board. You still had Trevor Penning on the board, Tyler Smith, Tyler Lindenbaum. But I actually like that Green pick quite a bit. Beef up your interior line right beside Landry Tunzel. I like that pick a lot, honestly. I think Lovie Smith and Texans did pretty all right.
Oh, yeah.
The Colts. Well, obviously, I do like how they, for the NFL.com, they have their day one grade as a D because naturally because of the Carson Wentz trade. Their first round pick went for Carson Wentz. So shout out to that. All right. So this is the Colts did their best. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Pretty much.
I mean, all right, look, I will say I love Alec Pierce. I love that pick. Wide receiver from Cincinnati. I love that one. After that, Bernhard Raimann liked that pick a lot as well because he was being projected for a lot of first-round drafts. So I like that pick. Woods, tight end from Virginia. I wish I could say more on him. I couldn't tell you much about him at the moment, but I do like the Ryman pick, the Pierce pick, and I also like the Brooks pick down there in the later rounds. But I mean, they did the best they could. But Alec Pierce, that's the massive dub.
I would agree. I really like the Bernhard Raimann pick at 77. So I mean, that's what, late second, right? Early third.
No, yeah, that'd be third.
So
yeah, it's early third. Third.
I mean, Alex and Tyler had him in the first round.
Yeah, late first, man. I like that kid. But next up, the Jacksonville Duval Jaguars, my second favorite team. I actually like this pick, bro. I like this lineup that we got, mostly because I like how we traded back up to get Devin Lloyd, who slipped down. Trayvon Walker. I mean, I think he's going to be a fine player, but I would have still preferred Aiden. He's not Aiden. That's the bottom line. I think Trayvon will be fine. I just don't think he's going to be. When we look back on it, it's going to be I view Trayvon Walker like one of those like a Jadeveon Clowney. He went first overall. He's a good player, but he's not like a first overall superstar. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Look at a Myles Garrett who went first overall. That's a fucking superstar. Jadeveon Clowney was never that and will never be that. And that's kind of how I feel towards Trayvon. Yeah, he's just not that.
Yeah, I don't know. Trayvon is like what we were talking about. Is kind of like a wait and see type of guy, right?
Yep.
Why pick him at 1 when you could have a for sure Aiden Hutchinson when you're what he's going to do on the field?
Yep.
But I mean, I guess they just like Trayvon happier. I mean, I like the trade back up to get Devin at 27.
We needed that.
So really surprised that he fell that far back. I like the center pickup.
I love that Luke. One. Yeah, we need that one.
And then I love the running back pickup from Snoop Connor from Ole Miss. And then back-to-back Arkansas guys, right?
Yeah, tell me about this Arkansas corner.
Yeah, so Monteric Brown either led or tied the lead for SEC in interceptions and pass breakups last year.
Okay.
So he's a solid corner, especially at your 2-3 spot. He's going to be able to shut down those type of receivers. And most of the time in the SEC, he was going up against the number one guys, right? With Fouché not really performing the way he should have last year, and then Jalen Catalon going down. Monteric was our guy that stepped up and guarded, your Jamison Williams and stuff like that. So, I mean, he has potential of being a great shutdown corner, much like what Cam Curl is right now for the Commanders. I love that pick, especially in the 7th round or 6th round. Absolutely absurd. I thought he was going to go more in the early 5th, late 4th, because I really like Monteric Brown. But then again, he is from Arkansas. And then, of course, you get a Washington Baptist guy, corner Gregory Jr.
Can't say anything about him. Not me.
So,
do you know anything? Because I don't.
I know a little bit. I know he's a Little Rock guy. Went to Washington Baptist. Haven't seen much tape on him, unfortunately.
Same.
But, I mean, I hear good things. Shout out to Chris Goodman. He knows a little bit more about him than I do. But I like those 2 picks.
You give me a lot more faith in Brown. You give me some confidence. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do for the Duval Jaguars.
And y'all signed Grant Morgan. linebacker from Arkansas to an unrestricted free agent contract.
Yep.
Little undersized for a linebacker. A little too heavy or a little too short to be an edge. Don't know where he's going to fit in, but hopefully he does well for you.
Next up, Kansas City Chiefs. Yo, say it up front. I love their first 4 picks so fucking much. I love their first 4 picks, dude, addresses so many holes they had. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You had Trent McDuffie, 21 overall. Love that one. You had Purdue edge rusher George Karlaftis at number 30. You had Sky Moore at number 54, wide receiver from Western Michigan, who can fill the role of like a Tyreek Hill. And then Byron Cook, safety from Cincinnati at 62. And even beyond that, I mean, they got good picks. I like the lineman from Kentucky. A lot of DB help, obviously. There's a lot of DBs here I'm looking at.
Yeah, you got safety Brian Cook. Yep. You got Joshua Williams, Florida State or Fayetteville State. You got Nazia Johnson.
And Jalen Watson, cornerback from Washington.
Washington State.
But I love the first 4 picks. I especially love the Sky Moore pick. I'm a massive fan of that pick.
Yeah, top 4 picks for me is solidify them as an A. And I think what really helps him, I love that Kentucky offensive tackle, Darian. I liked him. He's a, if I'm not mistaken, he's more of an agile tackle, right?
Yeah,
a little bit more lean, able to pull quite well. So could be a good thing.
I dig it. Next up is the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh McDaniels' first draft as the Raiders head coach. Naturally they did not have some of their first picks because of the Devontae Adams trade. So this is a situation of you do the best with what you got. I mean, nothing really jumps out at me except I do like the Dillon pick, Dylan Parham, the offensive guard from Memphis. He was going to be projected like a 2nd to 3rd round kind of guy. I feel like he could be a pretty decent interior lineman for him. But after that, nothing overly jumps out at me. That's really the main thing. I mean, Zamar White, running back from Georgia. I mean, I like that, but especially since they've now declined the 5th-year option for Josh Jacobs, which understandable. You take up that 5th-year option. I think you're going to be paying him like a top 10 running back, which he's not. So I understand declining it, but I don't know. Nothing really jumps out at me. NFL.com has him graded as an A-. I don't know if I'd go that high though.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that high. I would go B+, maybe. I think they just kind of did what they could.
Yeah,
honestly,
did the best that they could.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about on that one. The Chargers, next up. Let's see. I still love the Zion pick, because this is 2 years in a row that they have been solidifying the offensive line. In the first round last year, they got Rashawn Slater, who is an absolute stud and superstar Pro Bowler already in his first year. I think he got 2nd team All-Pro, if I remember correctly, as a rookie. Now you got Zion Johnson to put beside him. I like the Spiller pick to back up Austin Eckler. Almost forgot his name there. I also like the Georgia guard picks. How do you pronounce his last name?
Jamari Slaver.
Slayer?
Is it Slayer or Slaver?
Is it? I think it's Slayer.
Sawyer. It's Salyer.
Okay. Sawyer. Okay. We are incredible at names.
Butchering everything.
This is part of the charm. All right, it's part of the charm. But no, I mean, I like the focus on the interior offensive line,
and also the 2 cornerbacks late rounds.
True.
Wake Forest, Jasir Taylor, and
Leonard.
Yeah, Dean Leonard from Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Yeah, give some extra depth to that secondary alongside J.C. Jackson, who they just signed.
And honestly, I like them taking 2 cornerbacks back to back because really at this point, all you really need is 1 cornerback to hit, right?
Yeah.
So,
I do like the safety pick, J.T. Woods as well. I feel like that could be some good depth there as well. Potential starter on the opposite of Derwin James. I don't remember who their other safety is, so I mean, really, he's going to probably just be kind of like a flex in. But I like that pick though. I mean, it's just a lot of depth, man. I like their lineup. It's always good to get depth. Next up, the Rams. Naturally, they are the team who it's like, who gives a fuck about draft picks? We've seen that plenty of times. Yeah. So this is another situation they did the best they could. Nothing, I'll be honest and upfront, nothing about this draft horribly jumps out at me. They did the best with what they had. That's my main take on it. Literally, there's no one here that's just like, that's a fucking amazing pick. I think they just got a lot of good quality. That's the thing.
Agreed.
All right, let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. Poor Mike McDaniel, bro. He didn't have anything to mess with. I mean,
4 picks.
This is what happens when you get Tyreek Hill, though. So, I mean, I guess you can't terribly complain.
They take a quarterback?
Yep, Skylar Thompson, late draft. That's like what, seventh? Yeah, it's 7th round.
7th round.
Yeah, you're grabbing a guy. I mean, dude, there's nothing to talk about here. I mean, I do like Channing. The linebacker from Georgia. But after that, I mean, what can you talk about? They have 4 picks.
I really like the Texas Tech receiver. I've seen some highlights from him. I don't know too much about him, but from what I've seen from him, he's pretty electric. So.
All right, we'll take that. Minnesota Vikings, they actually had a decent amount of picks here. They did go DBs first 2 picks. Andrew Booth, who slipped out of the first, they grabbed him in the second, like that one.
Steal of the draft.
Yeah. So is that your number 1 steal? Because I think that's a damn good steal.
I think it's either Booth or Dean. It's one of them two. Like they're like, I'm sorry, but. That's what I'm going with.
I mean, that's fair, bro. I mean, Andrew Booth was a guy that I had him in every mock draft in the first round. Like, this is a first-round talent. Lewis, is it Seen or Sign?
I think it's Seen.
Seen? Okay. This is a guy, that was sneaking up in a lot of first-round mocks here towards approaching the draft. Good safety pick up there to put alongside Harrison Smith, Andrew Booth. Good corner pick there that you need. I mean, that is honestly that's easily one of the top steals of the draft. That and Nakobe Dean are probably the tops in my opinion. Honestly, I would also throw into the argument Devin Lloyd to steal as well, because that dude was projected potentially go as high as 7, and he slipped down to 27. Andrew Booth is a fucking absolute steal.
Tyler Linderbaum has to be in there too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, at one point he was projected to go as high as number 11 to Washington, and he slipped down to 24. I think is when Ravens got him. So, I mean, that's a steal as well. I like a lot of these picks, man. I like the Oklahoma linebacker quite a bit. Brian Asamoah. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Ed Ingram, offensive guard from LSU. I like that pick as well. They got that one in the 2nd round. I dig that. Ty Chandler, running back from North Carolina, put behind Dalvin Cook. Enjoy that one as well. The offensive tackle from Illinois, Lowe, to give a little extra depth. I like what the Vikings did personally, mostly because of the couple steals they got.
Yeah, and honestly, what kind of hurts Dallas's draft? Man, Linderbaum right there at 22 or 23 or whatever they had.
Yeah, I think so.
And they took the wrong Tyler. Shout out to Brady.
Yep. Yeah, they did. They took the wrong Tyler. They could have got Linderbaum. He could have been the next Travis Frederick.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were all pointing, that they really need something for that interior, and they just fucking debacled it. So, hey, we'll see.
Yeah. Like the Vikings, though. Like the Vikings did quite a bit. Next up, the Patriots. This one's a C+ on NFL.com. Look, they got a lot of depth. All right, let's go ahead and say that.
Honestly, I like the only 2 picks I really like from them, only because I like the Baylor receiver, too. But honestly, Pierre Strong and Bailey Zappi. 2 picks that were like, boom. Because I think Zappi's going to show out in the preseason, and they're going to trade him, and he's going to be playing somewhere else, honestly.
That's what I think. Yeah. I like the Zappi pick because it's like, oh, dope, you got picked in like, what, the 4th or 5th round? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, why does it got to be the fucking Patriots? Come on, bro. Like, you don't even have an aging QB. Like, I mean, yeah, that's probably going to be the situation you just pitched, but come on, bro. Could go anywhere else. Like, what are you doing? The Cole Strange pick is still just as his last name is, Strange. Like, ooh, I just feel like that's a reach, but at the same time, I can't help but to feel like this guy's about to be a Hall of Famer.
It just comes down to Belichick not giving a shit about anything and just wanting, like, knowing the guys that he wants and goes out and gets them.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's what it comes down to.
I can't help but to feel like Cole Strange is about to be a Hall of Famer.
True.
I can't help but to feel that way because it's just such a strange pick. I think it's a decent draft, man.
And also Pierre Strong. From Arkansas. He's from McClellan High School.
Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? I remember you talking about that at one point. All right, cool. Next up, the Saints. Again, this is a situation. Yeah, you do the best with what you got. They had 2 first-round picks, so that's kind of the big thing. Which they even moved up to get Chris Olave. Like that pick, they needed another receiver. Trevor Penning, I like that. I like that pick as well for 2 reasons. Number one, you addressed a very important need at tackle because you let Taron Armstead, an All-Pro Pro Bowler, walk away. Which also shout out, he played at UAPB, and then you don't reach for a quarterback. Because there was a lot of people thinking they were going to get a quarterback. Mm-hmm. They've got Jameis, they've got Taysom Hill, which they've already now said Taysom Hill is going to be more like a tight end, whatever. They don't have the guy, at least as we now assume. So a lot of people were thinking they were going to potentially get Malik or Kenny. They didn't reach. They got Trevor Penning, who was an absolute dog in the fucking Senior Bowl and everything leading up. That dude was a freak. Love those picks. After that, you got value, I guess.
I think just watch for them to tank. Go after CJ next year.
Oh, CJ or Bryce. There's actually a lot of quarterbacks next year. I was taking a look at that. I mean, you got Bryce potentially. You got CJ. You have Will Levis from Kentucky. Tyler Van Dyke, if he comes out, please don't come out. Tyler Van Dyke, stay in Miami for a few years. KJ Jefferson. I mean, dude, there's a lot of. I was seeing the Stanford quarterback slipping up into some first rounds as well, and I'm just like, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to do some research on him. I don't remember his name, but they could be tanking. I mean, Jameis could go his trademark 30 for 30 again. 30 picks, 30 interceptions. Yeah. But I do like the first 2 picks quite a bit, especially the Trevor Penning pick. The Giants. This is a draft. This is a draft. I mean, I feel like they nailed it on the first 2 picks. I feel like they could have gone Akeem at 5th and still gotten Kayvon at 7th. That was what was on all my mock drafts for the longest time. But I like the Evan Neal pickup at 7. I like the Robinson pickup, wide receiver from Kentucky in the 2nd round.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yep. You got a good guard in the right at the beginning of the 3rd as well from North Carolina. I think the Giants, I think they did a lot of things right in this draft.
I like that tight end to Daniel Bellinger.
Oh, yeah, from San Diego State. Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah. I did get to check out some tape on him. He looks like he could be a potential stud for him. I think the Giants did a lot of things right in this draft, honestly.
Yep. And anybody named McFadden, I'm going to be a fan of.
So. Oh, shut up. Okay, all right. Let's see. The Jets. This is one of the best drafts in this year. Like, bro, your first 4 picks, it's like you're an A++. I mean, you fucking nail it with your first 4
picks.
And
then even then, grabbing the Ohio State tight end, Germany, or is that Ruckert?
Yeah, Ruckert. Yeah. Like this is probably the best. For me, this is the best one.
Texas A&M, Michael Clemens, defensive end from Texas A&M, and that's
5th.
That's insane.
Like, bro, this is the best draft in my opinion. Jets fans, you might have something to be excited about if fucking Zach Wilson can figure his shit out. That's what all it comes down to, is seeing if Zach Wilson's going to be the guy.
I think that's the only thing that hurts them. They've only got 1 offensive lineman in the draft.
And that is true because there was a lot of questions about Mekhi Becton, and there still is.
2. Oh, yeah, one.
Yeah.
I'm tripping. 1.
They got Elijah Vera Tucker in the 1st round last year as well. So you got like Mekhi and Elijah Vera Tucker that could be your studs, but you need some more O-line help. A lot of people thought they could have gone potentially O-line in the 1st round, just depending on who was there. But, I mean, I think they fucking nailed it with their first 4 picks. I mean, you got Sauce Gardner, which it's because Stingley, went 3rd. And I think if they both would have been on the board, I feel like it would have still been Sauce Gardner. Just I feel like he fits what forgot. I'm drawing a blank on the head coach's name. But
Dayball. Isn't Dayball?
That's Giants.
Damn.
God, I don't remember his name. But, he was the San Fran defense coordinator. So I feel like Sauce Gardner, fits more of like what Richard Sherman did for him. Garrett Wilson, I like that pick, playmaker. And then Jermaine Johnson had a hell of a fall. I hit that fucking bet. Let's go. And then Breece Hall, of course, trading up, snagging him. Love that pick. I love what the Jets did. I straight up.
They got a whole lot better.
Next up, the Eagles. This is also one of the best drafts, and they only had 5 picks. But Jesus Christ,
and 3 of them went defense.
Like, bro, dude, good picks though. I mean, they got Jordan Davis. They traded up to get over Baltimore to grab Jordan Davis. Cam Jurgens, man, I love this center. And I actually saw a tidbit where when the pick was made, Jason Kelsey was in the middle of like a live stream with someone, whatever, when the pick was made, and like the guy was just like, "Oh, it's Cam Jurgens." Ooh, center. Like he didn't realize it was a center at first. And then Jason's like, no, it's all good. You know, like Eagles have been consulting me for the past couple of years about the centers coming out and stuff, because he's open and honest. Like, hey, I could retire like this year. Like, this could be it for me. It's like they're looking for my replacement. And he said that Cam Jurgens is like easily, in his opinion, the best center in this draft, even over Tyler.
Wow.
So Cam Jurgens, man, is getting a lot of praise from an all-pro Pro Bowl center with Jason Kelsey. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Cam's going to do. And then, of course, Nakobe fucking Dean. I mean, third round. Third or fourth. Come on.
You pair him with his college teammate, Jordan Davis.
I know.
And then managed to get his ass in the third round.
I know.
Absolutely absurd.
I saw someone where it's just like, the reason, where it's like the guy, I think it might have been Dan Orlovsky. I could be wrong, where he's just like, people are saying that Nakobe Dean was able to do the things that he was able to do because he had Jordan Davis in front of him. Well, guess what? He's still got Jordan Davis in front of him. So he's going to be able to do the things that he can do.
And Fletcher Cox, like,
I
come
know.
on now.
Dude, Nakobe Dean's going to fucking live his best life. Next up, the Steelers. So now that we've had a few days to kind of digest and stuff, how are we feeling about the Kenny Pickett pick?
I like it.
I do too.
I had this on my very first mock draft and my second one, I believe. I didn't have them taking Malik until my 3.0, maybe 4.0. No, 3.0 had him going to, so literally two of my four mock drafts had them taking Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. I got to say, I am not a fan of the Pickens pick at all.
George Pickens.
It's like Pittsburgh likes taking troublemakers, at the wide receiver position. You already went through this bullshit with Antonio Brown. You went through not necessarily like bad drama, but a distraction with Juju. And now you're getting Pickens, who once again has an attitude problem.
And kind of Claypool's kind of molding that way, right?
Yeah. So. It's just like it's just they have a theme. I'll put it that way. So I'm not a fan of that pick, but I do like Connor Hayward, little brother to Cam Hayward, the longtime defensive end for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the team right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, brothers playing together. Love that. That's pretty dope. So I like that pick quite a bit.
And they also take a quarterback in the last. They take two quarterbacks. I think that's what hurts them, in my opinion. You can't take two quarterbacks in one draft.
Hey, someone's got to go in that room right now.
Especially since I have no idea who that is. I mean, dude, South Dakota State. He was lighting it up.
Yeah, he was. I also like the D lineman from Texas A&M as well, DeMarvin Leal. I like that pick as well.
Honestly, everything besides Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, my favorite pick as they had is Calvin Austin. Out of Memphis.
That's fair, dude. Calvin, I think could be electric for him, but it's just Pickens, man. Pickens knocks him great. Like it's sad for me to sit here and say that one single pick really knocks some points down, because I don't like that pick at all. Next up, San Fran. They didn't have a first-round pick, which I think was because of what? Still the Trey Lance trade, maybe? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Still, from the year before. Okay. First pick they got was Drake Jackson, edge rusher from USC, and this is a guy that for some people were kind of slipping into some late first. So grabbing him at the end of the second round, I think, is pretty good value there. Also like Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy being in that room, back behind Trey Lance. I like that pick as well. Other than that, I mean, you just got a lot of ones we keep harping on it, but it's important. You got a lot of depth. That's the main thing. You got a lot of depth across the board.
I'm glad they actually got a running back. So now they're not pulling people from the stands to play running back for them.
Yeah, basically.
Tyron Davis Price. I like him at LSU. He killed Arkansas for a lot of yards. SMU receiver, Danny Gray. I like that pickup. I think it's quality. And then Brock Purdy, of course. It's Brock Purdy. Come on now.
Yeah, true. Fucking GOAT. Next up, your other team, the Seattle Seahawks. How you feeling about this draft? Because I got to say, bro, the first 5 picks are fucking phenomenal. The fact that this is a C+ on NFL.com baffles the fuck out of me.
I agree. And then really, even the Ohio State edge, Tyreek Smith, I was a big fan of. So really 5 I mean, I loved our draft. I mean, yeah, I didn't necessarily get players that I thought we needed or wanted, but I mean, you get Boye Mafe early in the second, which I had a first round grade on him in my last draft.
Yep.
Kenneth Walker, arguably the best running back in the class. I had Breece Hall number 1, but everybody else had Kenneth Walker at number 1. He went first. I think he was the first running back off the board.
No, it was Breece.
It was Breece?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, great quality there at 40 and 41. And then Charlie Cross, who people were arguing probably the best tackle in the draft.
Yeah.
Getting him at 9. So...
And how you feeling about Kobe Bryant? Because that's a guy that you were really high on.
Oh, I fucking love that.
Yeah, like as soon as I saw that, I'm just like, I bet Shane's fucking. Oh yeah, pumped.
I was sitting there watching it. I think I was playing. I think I might have been playing Madden while watching the draft on my other monitor, and I saw that pick come out. I was like, fuck yes, I love that pick. I've been a big Kobe Bryant fan ever since the end or the playoffs, and then they kept replaying that stat that he didn't allow a touchdown.
Yeah.
In his final year of college, which is crazy. They had 2 cornerbacks not allow a touchdown that entire year, which is nuts.
Sauce Island and Bryan Island, I guess. Next up, the Bucks. They did have a first round pick. They traded back. They got the first pick of the second round where they got Houston defensive end Logan Hall, who could have gone first round. They did address some O-linemen there with the Central Michigan guard, which they did need to do since their starting offensive guard, Ali Marpet, retired. Got a running back from Arizona State, Rashard White. I like that one. I also like the tight end, Cade Oten from Washington. I like that pick as well.
They also got another tight end, Kieft from Minnesota.
Yeah. I think the Tampa Bay did a pretty decent draft here, but nothing like completely jumps out at me or it like blows me away necessarily. But it's like, all right, yeah, it's not bad. That's kind of how I feel about it, though.
Yeah, same. I like the LSU linebacker, Anthony. He played some meaningful snaps for them. Other than that, like, yeah, I agree. I think they filled spots where they needed to fill spots. They got a backup for Leonard for one, and then also who was their other running back that they had last year?
Ronald Jones. And they also had LaShawn McCoy, but it never did a thing.
Really?
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Well, was it last year? They either had LaShawn McCoy in their Super Bowl run, and he like didn't play at all. He was just on the team, but he got a ring.
Hey, got a ring.
All right, we got 2 teams left. Tennessee Titans next up. How you know that we've had days to sit on it? How you feeling about Burks going to the Titans? You were pumped up at the time. Are you still pumped?
I am. I was watching videos. Literally, if you look at Titans, if you look at their Twitter or their Facebook or YouTube, I was paying attention, which is funny because I was watching Locked On Titans on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They do like a weekly podcast or whatever, daily podcast, and I tuned in like 2 weeks ago. And literally the whole reason why I clicked on the video was because they said my best receiver in the draft, and it had a picture of Treylon Burks, and it was pretty much saying like, "Hey, Titans are super high on this kid. If he's available at where they're going to take him at, I think at the time it was like 26 or 27, but they ended up trading up to get him at 18, and that's phenomenal."
Then we got to, of course, talk about Malik. Grabbing Malik in the 3rd round. Have you seen all the backlash from Ryan Tannehill?
Yes.
He is salty as fuck.
And it really irritated me too because Treylon, it was like 2 days after the draft. This was like Saturday. And Treylon had his press conference, his introductory press conference, and he was pretty much like, "Hey, like I'm looking forward to getting in contact with Ryan Tannehill and getting linked with him on what he's looking for and how we can match up." And he's like, "Oh, you haven't talked to Ryan Tannehill yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, he hasn't contacted me yet." And this was 2-3 days after the draft.
And then Ryan Tannehill claims he called Malik immediately after and congratulated him.
Yep. And then, but yet he comes out in an interview today, or was it today or yesterday that Ryan Tannehill said, "Well, I'm not going to be mentoring him, but if he learns something from me, then I'll take that as a positive."
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, "Dude, you're
he's salty
as shit."
Yeah, bro. He's salty because he knows it's his replacement. Which, Ryan Tannehill's a serviceable starter. He's not a superstar. So that's the bottom line. So I get the move. It makes sense. The main thing about this draft is Burks. Burks to me was the third best receiver in this draft, in my opinion. For me personally, it was Drake London. I really liked Olave, honestly, and then Burks. Those were my top three for the longest time. And then after that, it'd be like Garrett Wilson would be my next one. So I love this pick. As the last receiver taken in the first round, Tennessee might have gotten potentially the best receiver in the first round when it all is fit and done.
I agree. As long as he, I guess, what people were worried about is just his weight, right? Because he's sitting at 225 at 6'2". So, as long as he's able to keep that down, which I think he will. He's always been a disciplined receiver at Arkansas, and people were worried about his breakaway speed. But you can literally put on tape and see him run away from corners after catching the ball. So, not worried about that at all. But moving on, I like Malik Willis, quality pick right there. Like I said, I had him my best quarterback in my rankings. And then Hassan Haskins. I had him probably top 10 running backs. Mm-hmm. So to get him at 131, I like that pick as well. Yeah. And Theo Jackson, too. I like him, too.
Yeah. I think overall Titans had a really phenomenal draft, top to bottom. Trading away A.J. Brown, who is solidified, what you're getting out of him. That sucks, but you're literally getting another receiver who can be another A.J. Brown. So I think that's the main takeaway. And then also Malik Willis, I like the Haskins pick as well. I think overall Titans did pretty well. All right, finishing things up with the Washington Commanders. I got three picks that immediately jump off the board. Number one is going to be Jahan Dotson, obviously. I think Jahan Dotson is honestly a little underrated. He went first round, but I feel like he's a little underrated, honestly. I think that people are going to be proven wrong that he shouldn't be underrated. I also like the Sam Howell pick at 144, and I actually love the Nevada tight end Cole Turner. Those are the three picks that really jump out at me the most. Brian Robinson's a good pick as well. I think the Commanders, I think they did pretty solid.
Yeah, I think NFL.com kind of screwed Commanders. I think I'll probably put them as an A- draft. I think they got quality quarterback. Sam Howell's probably going to be is it Carson Wentz?
Yeah, it's replacement. Carson Wentz, and they still got Tyler Heineke as well.
Yeah, he'll be traded away at some point.
Right.
But especially if a quarterback gets hurt.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, anyways, I had Sam Howell my third best quarterback in the draft, behind Malik and Pickett. So to get him at 144, which I kept watching the draft, and Seattle kept going through. I was like, okay, Sam Howell. Oh, and then other teams, I was like, Sam Howell's got to go here. And then I saw Matt Corral get taken. I was like, bro, what is going on?
Right.
But yeah, I would agree. Those four picks: Cole Turner, Sam Howell, Brian Robinson, Jahan Dotson. Stellar picks.
Who do you think had the best draft? Is it you just gonna say Jets or Eagles maybe? Because I feel like the Jets. I'm telling you, bro. Those first four picks alone knock it out of the park. I feel like the Eagles did really good, really awesome as well. I don't know who did the worst. That's the thing. I really don't know who did the worst. That's tough. Probably I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to bite me in the ass, but I think it's going to be the Patriots for me. I feel like theirs is the worst one, but it's the Patriots. I'm scared to say that. I don't want Belichick to come at me in my sleep.
I think just lack of quantity. I'm going to say Dolphins.
And that's fair. It's lack of quantity, and the picks they made were very subpar at that. But I personally think the Jets and the Eagles are the best. But you know what? Call me biased, but I also got to give a shout out to the Bears. You come into this draft with 6 picks, and you turn around with 11. I don't care who the fuck you are. That's impressive. I like what we did here this year. But I think the Jets are probably the best one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles. I'm just so highly on Nakobe Dean. In order to get him so late, and then pair him with his college teammate Jordan Davis, I can't fight that at all.
Right. And that is a great point. I would say the Jets is my number 1, Eagles my number 2, and probably the Bears number 3, just because of the turnaround in quantity, and just got a lot of depth. But that is a big thing right there to have Jordan Davis and Nakobe on the same team in the NFL.
I would go Eagles, Jets, Let's see here. Yeah. The Chiefs didn't really do Trayvon.
You were pretty high on the Texans.
Yeah, I was. I really like what they did with. I'm actually gonna give Texans number 3 spot,
Shout out to
and
the
then
Texans.
I would put Bears 4. And then to round out the top 5, as far as quality, I would say Packers, Seahawks, or where are they?
Actually, you know what? The Cowboys might have had the worst draft.
Cowboys are up there.
Yeah, the Cowboys might have had the worst
The Browns are up there too, in my opinion. Bills are up there for a top 5 for me. And I think, but I'm gonna have to give it to the Ravens.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah,
I'm gonna give the Ravens the 4 or 5 spot. To be able to steal players like Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, Ojobu, all with their top 3 picks, and still manage to get a player like Travis Jones, Alabama cornerback Amar Davis, and Iowa State tight end Charlie Kohler, and the Penn State punter Jordan Stout.
Actually, I'm going to make the Ravens my number 1. Ravens, Jets, Eagles, Bears, and probably the Packers will be my top 5 for me personally. And then the worst is the Patriots, the Cowboys, in my opinion. But
Browns.
Fair. Let's look at some of these free agents just real quick. We won't dive too much into it. Tyrann Mathieu did get signed by the Saints, which not surprised there. That's one of those situations where they weren't able to grab a safety they liked. But out of all these free agents on the board, who are some of the first ones that you could see go? Because I know one of the big ones is going to be these wide receivers. You know, the Packers is one that could potentially make a play. The Bears could potentially make a play for a veteran wide receiver. Who are some of these free agents that you see going off the board pretty quick now that draft is passed?
I think it's going to be receivers. So you're looking at players like Odell, Jarvis Landry,
Will Fuller,
Julio Jones, players like that. And then you're probably going to start seeing corners come off the board, and then linebackers, defensive ends. Rob Gronkowski.
I mean,
he's
really listed, but I bet he's pretty much done.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, he's fucking, yeah.
I'm surprised Anthony Barr's still a free agent, honestly.
Yeah, same.
I think Julio, in my opinion, is still a fucking lock for Indianapolis.
It's got to be.
You can't convince me otherwise. Like, he's going to Indy. J.C. Treader, center. That's one that I actually would like to see come to Chicago personally. And when it comes to Chicago as well, the wide receiver that I would love to see us get is Jarvis, but I know it's not going to happen because at this point Jarvis wants to go to a contender. So the most likely receiver that I could see us get, I don't have listed here, but it'd be like a Keelan Cole or D.D. Westbrook, both actually from Jacksonville. Those are guys that I could see coming to Chicago potentially. Maybe a Will Fuller. Maybe. But the problem with Will Fuller is when he's healthy, he's fine. But the problem is he's never fucking healthy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think the Packers are going to be in play for Will Fuller because they almost traded for him last year. So I think the Packers could be in play for Will Fuller. Odell, I don't fucking know where Odell's going.
I think he's pretty much a lock to go to New Orleans or back to Cleveland. One of those two.
Because I feel like the Rams one is kind of burned now after the drama he starting with Cam Akers. Did you see about that?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he may be burning that bridge with the Rams.
Yeah, I think Odell's pretty much either going to go to the Saints or he's going to re-sign with the Browns. As far as Jarvis, I think his number 1 landing spot right now has got to be somebody like Green Bay.
Yeah.
Green Bay would be a great spot for him.
I could see him going to Green Bay.
Maybe Denver if we're willing to spend the money, something like that. So,
yeah. No, and you're going to start seeing some of these guys go kind of quick. I want to shout this out, that now that the draft is passed, Ryan Poles has reached out to Akeem Hicks and trying to mend that bridge because that bridge got kind of burned with the last regime and Akeem Hicks, who's been a captain for us on the D-line for multiple years now. So I'm hoping that bridge does get mended because I still feel like Akeem Hicks could have a lot of value for us in that D-line. So I really hope that one happens. What about Trey? Where do you see Trey going? Do you have any predictions on that? Any hopes? Obviously, your hope would be one of your squads.
Yeah,
but.
Of course. Especially a team like Seattle that needs it, Denver that needs it. But honestly, there's so many teams right now that needs that position.
True.
That it's just. Is this going to be who can offer the most money, right?
Right.
So
And it's also going to be the same thing for a couple of these linemen that are still on the board, like the Dwayne Brown tackle. It's just, as well as Eric Fisher. It's like, who's going to need a solid, or Riley Reef, another one I see down there. Who's going to need a solid, starting tackle, depending on how their draft came out. That's going to still be something that need to be addressed. But no, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how things play out over the next couple of weeks. We won't get to chat about it for a little while. Again, this is our last episode until sometime mid-June, I would probably say. And then also mid-July, we'll put out an episode. But I think that's about it, though. Yeah, I mean, how you feeling? You feeling good?
Pretty good. This is the boring part of our job, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to sports podcasting, it's going to be the boring area, but
or to football podcasting.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because as long as I'm the host of this show, it will remain a football podcast because I just don't have enough passion to talk about the other sports.
That's fine.
I just don't, man. I follow it so loosely. I have teams I root for. Right now in the playoffs, we got my Celtics I'm rooting for. We got my Kings in the hockey in NHL. But, I mean, I could barely name players off both these teams. It's just I root for them from a distance. I don't harp on it like I'm some mega fan because I know I'm not. But, man, I just don't have a hard passion for other sports.
I got to say sports because, Tyler being there saying
some random
shit. So.
Bro, this dude follows so much random stuff. He follows golf religiously, tennis religiously. I'm like, how do you do this? I don't understand.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I follow all sports. Tennis, I don't really follow. But, I mean, I'm a big fan of golf, hockey, baseball, basketball. But, hey, football's my pride and joy. So.
Yeah, same here. Well, with that said, I guess we can go ahead and get the music and get out of here. Last episode, kind of bittersweet, at least for a few weeks.
Yeah, have you ate yet?
I have. I did eat. I had some taquitos. Had some taquitos. Had some salsa. That's what I was vibing with. What are you gonna have?
Chicken sandwiches.
Ooh, good play. Good play. Like that.
Chicken sandwiches, some Lay's. Give me some good time.
No, that's
you know what I had last night due to my daughters? Chicken nuggets and fries.
Hell yeah.
But at least they were the potato wedges, so just pop those puppies in an oven.
Right.
Superb.
Now, were they dinosaur chicken nuggets?
No, they weren't.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, we're not.
Damn it. Those are next level.
They are.
They are next level. All right, Shane. Well, any last thoughts to listeners before we sign off for a few weeks?
Nope. Just be sure to catch my stream whenever I do get it up and running. I'm middle of fixing some audio issues. Go follow us on Twitter, AlexLight20 or at AlexLight23. Myself, Razor E3 on Twitter. Tyler Honey 16.
I think it's either Tyler Honey 16 or just Ty Honey 16.
One of those. It'll be below.
It's gonna be in the description. Yeah.
But any guys, we appreciate y'all listening to us, and be sure to always hit the comments, give us feedback. Join the Discord. We'd love to hear your conversation, your opinions, and things like that. So I guess with that said, thank you for listening to a
Terrible Football Show. See you in June.